Welcome all to today's session. My name is Winnie Anastasia. I am a digital skills trainer with Africa 118 in conjunction with Google Digital Skills for Africa. So, at today's session, we are going to discuss how to use data and insights to help your business grow. So, maybe for a start, you could let us know where you're joining us from. On the right hand side there is a chat box. You can let us know how you're feeling and where you're joining the session from, and I'll be able to sample some of your responses. So our today's agenda, we are going to first understand the right questions to ask. We are going also to look at how to identify the best tools to use and how to understand and analyze your data. So on our first agenda, so what words would you use to describe your customers? What words do you use to describe your customers? You could let us know some of the words you think would best describe your customers in the chat box section, and I'll be able to sample some of that even as we go along the session. So I'll be looking at the chat box just to see some of the descriptions or the words that you use to describe your clients with. And even as we get to answer that question, we are going to proceed to our agenda number 1, which is to understanding the right questions to ask. So what kind of questions do you ask or do you want to know about your customers? What kind of questions do you want to know about your clients? So some of the questions maybe you would want to know about your clients would be, what is my objective? What questions do I need to address? Where do I need to get that information from? And what do I do with that information? So once you have outlined your objective, you need to know what kind of questions do you need to ask to achieve that objective. Where do you get that information from? And lastly, once you have the information, what do you do with the information that you have? So on our number 1, what is my objective? So we're going to look at some of the examples of objectives that you could have as a business. So one could be, tell more people about your business. Maybe you have a new product in your line of products, and you want more people to know about your business. So that could be one of your objectives. Another objective could be you want to sell more about your product or the service that you are providing. And another one could be, how do you identify your most valuable customers? It's very important for you to identify your most valuable customers, and we will see later why it's important. So keep that at the back of your mind. And lastly, you should be able to find new ways to engage with the previous customers. So we all know that getting customers is a tall order. So once you've gotten your clients, how do you find ways on how you can retain them? What kind of engagements do you need to have with the clients that you already have? So those could just be sample objectives. Based on your clients, you can fine tune that so that the objectives that you have fit your particular business. So now we have found our objective. Our next process for our analytics is, what kind of questions do I need to address? So we're going to look at sample questions of what you need to address. And how do you find the right questions to ask? You use the REAN. So R is for reach. Who is my target audience? And how do I reach them online? Are they on WhatsApp? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? And what age group are they? What interests them? What is their pain area? So those are some of the questions you need to ask. Engaging. Are they finding what they need? When they come to your business, you've found how you are able to reach them, and when they come to you, are they able to find what they really need? And A for activate is, are they booking with you? They have found the information they need. Let's say you as a telecommunications company, and you have this new product of maybe these bundles of data. Say you are selling 60 GB at 1000 in a month. So they were looking for cheap data, they have gotten that, and are they booking with you? And nurture, the ones who have already enjoyed a service with you, are they coming back? So those are some of the questions you need to ask yourself when you're looking at analytics. So our next process will be, where do I get that information from? So which tools are available to me that I can use to get that information? So the right information you can be able to get maybe using social channels. You could also do organic search. You could find the information from your own website if you had one. And lastly, you could also be able to find the information on paid search. So those are just some of the areas where you can find the information about your business, how people are looking at your business, responding to your business, reaching your business. So it's very, very important to take note of that. So even moving on, our last process. What do I do with that information? So I have found the information on the social channels, I have found the information on my website. What do I do with that information? And that is just some of the ways you could use your information. For example, maybe you are trying to check out market trends. So market trends will be able to help you identify the latest market trends and insights. And we have tools for that. We will be looking at that even as we proceed. Another information could be the user experience. You want to know what are the parts that your customer use to make a purchase and make changes accordingly. If there's a problem in your user experience, you could be able to adjust that. That's why it's very important to also check on the user experience. Another area could be content marketing. Identify the kind of content that resonates with your audience. If you see this particular content, my audience engages with the most, then now you know which kind of content you want to retain, and maybe which kind of content do you want to drop in the future, and then adjust your strategy. You've gotten to know your user experience, you have identified the pain areas, you've checked the market trends, what are people doing online, how are the markets fluctuating, what are the keywords people are using online, and now you have your data with you. Now you use that data to adjust your strategy so that the next time you're able to perform better. So that is just how you're able to use the data that you gather from the processes of gathering data online. So up to that point, do you have a question? If you have a question, please comment it on the comment section. My moderator will be able to respond to it, and I will also be able to sample some of your responses. So moving on to the next section. So now we have tackled phase one of this webinar, and now we have come to phase two of the webinar. So how to identify the best tools to use. So there's so many tools that are available on the online space. So how do you get to decide which one suits your business and which one will get you the kind of data that you are looking for? So this is what we are trying to answer in this segment. So what are the available analytics tools do you currently use as a business? You could let us know about that in the chat section. Which kind of analytics tools do you currently use as a business or as a marketer? So these are just some of the examples of the tools that are available for us to use. One, it could be from social. In social, here we mean Twitter, we mean Facebook, we mean Hootsuite. So these are just some of the examples of tools you're able to use. And now we have organic search. We said, remember, we said these are some of the areas where you get to get the information about your business. So now, which tools will you use to get that information is what we are handling at the moment. So for the organic search, we have Google Search Console, we have Google My Business. Um, from your website, we have Google Analytics. And lastly, from paid search, we have Google Ads. So these are some of the examples of the tools that we are going to look at in this session. So Facebook page insights. So you're able to identify what people are engaging on in your page and how are they finding you. So when you go to your Facebook page insight, you should be able to see an overview. So an overview will just give you a generalized picture and maybe some of the trends that are happening on your page. And then we have promotions if you did promotion. Then we have followers. How many number of followers do you have? We have likes. How many likes you've gotten over a certain period of time? Let's say 1 week. Maybe you had a post. So what is the reach of that post? How many people was the post able to reach? Then we have page views. We have actions on the page, what kinds of actions are being taken on the page. And then, of course, you can now check your posts, the events, your following, and messages. So these are just some of the insights that Facebook page will be able to give you. If we have a look at Google Search Console, for example. So Google Search Console will give you information about your website and the visitors that come to your website from Google's organic search results. So first, when you go to Google Search Console, you need to verify ownership for your website. So even before you get any data on it, it will ask you to verify the ownership of your website. So you need to verify that first before you get any data on the Google Search Console. So this will give you performance of your website. How is your website performing? What are the total number of clicks? What are the total engagements that you have? And then it will give you comparison on the various happenings that are going on in your website. So it's a very, very useful tool to be able to use when you're looking for organic data on your website. And then we have Google My Business. So Google My Business helps you to manage your online presence across Google Search and Google Maps. So I will give an example of how a profile looks like and what are some of the insights that you're able to get when you look at that particular profile. So you should be able to get like the number of visits, the number of clicks over time. How are people finding you? Are they finding you organically? Are they finding you through partners? So those are some of the data that you are able to get from Google My Business. So I will be able to do a demonstration of that so that you are able to understand better what I am talking about. And then we have another tool. It's called the Google Trends. So how do you use the Google Trends? It helps you to identify the popularity of a search term rather in Google, and identify whether the trend is on the rise or declining. So what do I mean? Maybe I'll just do a short demo on that. I'll stop sharing my screen for a moment. So we are looking at Google Trends. So I'll share my screen. Just to give you an example of, I hope you are able to see my screen. So this is how you get to know how a particular search term is trending, and how it has been performing over time. So let's say, for example, leather bags. So you want to see, or yeah, leather bags. These are just leather bags. So that's our search term. Let's see if we can be able to get some trends. Okay. So let's say, for example, you are having a business in the leather industry, and you are selling leather bags. So now you want to know how the search term has been performing over time. You see, this Google trend is able to tell you from data since last year. This is a full year's data. So you can see during last year it went down, maybe probably during to COVID restrictions. There was no one buying stuff out there. And then you could see here from August it went up. So it peaked at August 16th to 22nd, 2020, and then it fell down again. So it was down by the time August 30 was reaching. Then it went up again from October, and now let us check how it has been performing for 2021. Let's see, the month of June, it has been peaking, it has been going up. Yes, so the reason this is dotted because the month hasn't ended, so this is just partial data, but you can see it's rising. So maybe you wanted to know how are people searching up the information about leather bags. So let us try to, and you can also compare with another search term. So let us also try to check out fashion. So how is fashion as a search term performing? You can see it's very rugged. It's up and down, up and down. For the month of last month, it has been falling. So you would want to find out as a business why it's falling down. So this is just some of the analytics you can be able to get from Google Trends. You could also try out to check, for example, Kitenge fashion, short dresses, let's say 2021. Let's see how this search term is performing. So you can see it doesn't have enough data. So most people are not looking up Kitenge fashion short dresses. That's why we have insufficient data on them. So that's how you are able to use Google search to see what's is trending and which sum is trending over time. So let us move on. So I'll stop sharing my screen and bring the projection back. So I'll share my screen again. So that's how you're able to use Google Trends. So how is Google Trends relevant or important, you could ask? So it helps you to find relevant trending topics. We have seen Kitenge short dresses did not have sufficient data even for us to compare. So maybe if you were in the business of, let's say, making Kitenge short dresses, you would know that such term is not performing. It also helps you to monitor competitors, like you're able to know how what trend it's on, what are people engaging with. And I also said you could compare, so Google Trends gives you a chance to make a comparison, so you could compare from one search term to another. How are they performing if you put them on the same platform? Another one, it also helps you with keyword research. So we have seen, for example, fashion has been going up and down. And now when we fine tune the search to kitenge short dresses, it went down. So maybe you would reconsider, if you're using that keyword, you could reconsider that and maybe put leather bags, for example, because we saw leather bags as a keyword was going up. So that is how you get to compare and know which keywords are people using online. It also helps you to promote around seasonal trends. We have seen from the data, there's at one point of the year it goes down, at another point of the year it goes up. So if you wanted to promote your product and you're seeing leather bags, for example, you are seeing it's going down, maybe this is not the right time. And if you see the trend is going up, you could now want to sell or put out there a word that you are selling leather bags. It also helps you to find topics by regions. Like we are able to see Mombasa, Nairobi, and how it was performing. So you could find topics by specific regions. So that's how you get to use Google Trends. So moving on. So now we have another tool, Google Analytics. So Google Analytics helps you to understand what do customers do when they come to your website. So you created a website. Let's say you have an e-commerce website. So you are selling your products on the website. So you noticed maybe your sales have been going down, let's say, and you want to find out why are website purchases going down. So now you go to Google Analytics. It helps you to understand what our customers are doing. So maybe when they reach the checkout page, it's taking longer to load. Maybe they drop down. So you will see most people come to your website, they shop the goods, they put them on carts, and then when they reach the checkout page, it drops. So you want to find out why is it that when they reach the checkout page, they drop. Could it be from that data you can decide either to do remarketing to them, or maybe you want to find out is there a problem on the checkout page. So those are just some of the instances or examples you could use the Google Analytics tool. And you need to have a Google Analytics account that is linked to your website for you to get this data. So if you have a website and you've not linked it to the Google Analytics account, you're not able to see the data. So it's very, very important for you to make sure that once you have your website, or if you have your website, make sure you have the Google Analytics account so that it starts collecting data on what's happening on your page, so that you can be able to see how customers are interacting and what pages do they specifically go to when they come to your website. So does anyone have any questions? I'll check the chat box. If you have any questions, you could post it. My moderator will respond to them, and I will also be able to sample some of your questions. So I've seen Quinta. Thank you so much, Quinta. Uh, thank you, Timothy Owino. If you have your questions, please put them in the chat box, and my moderator, Benson, will be able to respond to that. And I will also be able to sample some of your questions as well. So moving on to our next phase of the training. So now we have known what kind of questions we need to ask. We have learned about some of the tools that are available to us. For example, social, we mentioned Facebook Analytics, and on Google search, organic search rather, we mentioned Google Search Console. On the website, we have mentioned Google Analytics, and now we have gathered the data. Now we need to understand and analyze the data that we have covered. So this is the segment where we get to do that. So Google Analytics, how does the dashboard looks like? You can be able to see that on the screen. So this is how a general Google Analytics dashboard looks like. So you're able to see the users, the page visits, which specific pages people are going to more than other pages, even as I mentioned before. So when you get this kind of data, as I said, maybe you have an e-commerce and you're getting people are dropping off the most when they get the checkout page. Maybe there's a problem with the payment system, or maybe there's a problem on how to check out. You want to fix that. So that is how Google Analytics will be able to help you with some of that. So how do you set up a Google Analytics account? So you go to analytics.google.com. My moderator will post that in the chat box. Then you choose a name for your account, and then you choose an industry category. So let us try to do that and see what happens. So I'll share my screen again. Analytics.google.com. So let me stop sharing my screen, and then I'll be able to share the Google Analytics page. How do you sign up? Just a moment. There we go. So this is how the Google Analytics page looks like. So you need to complete the information. And how do you get to complete that? You click here. So you can see here, there's an account. So in this case, it's my account. Yes. You can see this here. So you log into the account that is associated to your Gmail, and then click here. And then your account details, you put your new account name. So let's say Winnie, for example. Let me try to put so let's say Winnie Salon. Salon. So now you get to select which information do you want. Then you go to next. Then you now have to Here, put the property name, then you change the time zones and the currency, and then you can decide on the advanced options which ones do you want to work with. So that's how you get to set up your account, and then you start now gathering data. So remember, you cannot get the data on your website if you've not signed up to the Google Analytics account. So it's very, very important for you to make sure that you have signed up into that account. So I'll stop sharing my screen again. So you make sure you choose an industry. If you are in the fashion industry, you get to choose that. So now you have to put a tracking code. So what is a tracking code? Tracking code is just a specific code about a particular information you want to track. So you need to put a correct tracking code on the page, the website page, so that you gather the right information or the necessary information that you want to gather. So where do you find the tracking code? So now you will need to use maybe a website builder or a blog, or just a simple field where you can add your tracking ID on your website. Maybe you want to add your ID on the checkout page of your e-commerce website just to see how it's performing. So that could be one place you would want to put your tracking code, or maybe you want to put it on your blog just to see how your blog is performing. That is also another area you'd want to put your tracking code, or just a specific page you want to put your tracking code. So that is up to you as a business person to decide on that. What do you want to track? So that will help you in the deciding. So we have main areas of reporting. So one is the audience. Who are they? How did they find me? What are they doing? And what are they worth to me? So now that is one area you need to look at. So you can be able to see from the screen on your left hand side of your Google Analytics page, that's where you get that information, the audience, the acquisition, the behavior, the conversions. So the conversions will help you. What are they worth to you? The behavior will help you. What are they doing when they come to your page? Acquisition is how did they find you? And the audience is what kind of people are they who are visiting your website. So those are just some of the areas of reporting. So now you have data in Google Analytics. We have said you put the tracking code on the particular page you want to track, and now the audience, you have the audience, the acquisition, the conversion, what is the worth of the people who are visiting your website. Then we have here the section, dimension metrics. So, like how many people are coming to you via organic search? Organic search, I mean, they just directly looked up Winnie Salon and they're able to get to my page. How many are they coming through paid search? Let's say I did an ad on my salon. So, how many people are coming through that? How many are they coming from social? I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, and I have a link of my website in that page. So, how many people are coming from my social media? How many are coming from my display campaigns that I'm running? So let's say I'm running a campaign. I have checked the Google search console. I have seen that leather bags are on the rise. So now I am selling leather bags. So I have put up a display campaign of the leather bags that I'm selling. So I want to know how many people are coming, or what is their worth. What do they do on my website when they come from my display campaign? So that will also help you to know such kind of data. And you could also get data on referrals, like how many people are coming from the referral. So this is just how you group your channels. And then on your right hand side, you're able to see now the users, the new users, the sessions. So this is just some of the data that you're able to see from your Google Analytics page. Now, we used RIN to ask the right questions. So now we want to check how many people are finding me online. So identify which search terms are driving the organic traffic. You need to know which terms are driving people to your website. And then, uh, how do you develop relationships with the referral websites? Maybe you have your link on a specific, let's say you are in the leather industry, and then there's this um, blog where they put your link, maybe after they have reviewed, maybe have the industry or particular leather bags, they put your link to your website. So you want to know how that is performing. And then we have the next segment, which is engage. So learn which pages are not getting any views. It's very, very important. Which particular pages on your website are not getting any views. So that will help you to know, maybe is it the content is not right. So you want to redo if you have to redo, update if you have to update. Then discover what is really engaging your visitors. Which page on your website is the most popular page? So you want to know, why is it that this is the most popular page on your website? When we come to activate, which channel is driving the most bookings? Is it the referring sites? Is it, let's say, the paid search? Is it the organic search? So you want to know which channel is bringing you the most bookings. So from there, you can be able, let's say, either drop the non-activating channels and maybe improve on them, or maybe maintain the channels that are bringing you most traffic on your website. So once you have identified the underperforming sites, you can review them or maybe consider partnerships. Maybe you feel it's important for you. Maybe you want to consider partnerships with referral websites. So that is how Activate will help you. And then we have Nurture. Are the customers happy to leave a review? So you have a Google My Business page. Are people happy enough to leave you a review? Or are they displeased enough to, if there's something like that, to leave you a review? So try to find different ways to encourage your customers to leave a review on your page. Uh, from the statistics, 65% of people consider a business best on the reviews, the kind of reviews that you're able to get. So it's very, very important to try and encourage your clients to be able to leave reviews on your page. So we talked about Google Trends and what they're able to help us achieve. Like you can be able to compare um, this word versus this word. Let's say leather bags in Nairobi, in Mombasa, or leather bags in Kenya and Tanzania. So we've had a conversation about that. So just to recap, we've talked about seasonal trends. You're able to see, we checked out leather bags. We're able to see that search term is on the rise. So maybe people are more considering buying leather bags. That's why they're looking up that search term. So we are able to see in May, the search term actually went down. So now this will help you to know which months are performing better and which months do you want to put more energy on. So it's very, very important to use Google Trends. So it will help you to identify the seasonal product demands, adjust your offerings according to supply and demand. Maybe when the demand goes low, you want maybe to give promotional offers, or it could also help you to create content now that you know what's trending, which word is trending, how are people doing their searches online. So you want to create trends about that. So that's how Google Trends can be able to help you. And lastly, it can also help you with your keyword research. So you want to know which particular keywords, maybe identify potential keywords tag. Maybe you want to name your product categories according to popular keywords. So you want to know how these keywords are performing. And you also maybe want to optimize your posts according to trending keywords. So that is just how you're able to use Google Trends. So if you have a question, you can put it in the comment section and I will be able to respond to it. And my moderator as well will be able to respond to it. So moving on, um, so I just wanted to demonstrate something. So I'll share my screen. So I just wanted to demonstrate some of the insights you're able to get from Google My Business. So I'll share my screen again. That's not the right one. One thing you need to note before you're able to get any data on Google My Business, you need to have the account verified. If you don't verify the account, you will not be able to get access to the data that has been gathered. So even as I share my screen, keep note of that. So let us look at this business. So this is Zaiton Lebanese restaurant. So now they have a Google My Business profile and you want to check the analytics. So you will come here on your left hand side. You just check the menu on the insides. So we can see so far they have 5,960 searches. And from these, you can be able to see how many are direct searches. So direct searches are 411. How many are discovery searches? So actually 93% of the people who visit this site are discovery searches. How many are branded? They only have six branded searches. So we can see most people are finding Zaiton Lebanese restaurant from discovery searches. So maybe somebody was looking at a category, maybe a Lebanese restaurant and was able to see Zaiton, or maybe was looking up for a particular Lebanese meal and then was able to see. And you can be able to see this is 1 month. So you can actually check even for the last 1 week. You can also check for the last 1 quarter. So you're able to see how people are getting to you. So from here, you can decide whether you want to advertise or not. And then this section, you can be able to see the customer actions. So in the last 1 month, we've had 33 total actions. 18 of them visited the website, 18 were requesting directions, and 7 made calls. So you're able to see what are people doing when they visit this site. You can be able to see the total calls. So Thursday seems to be a busy day. You can see Thursday has the most calls and Sunday. So, and you can see Friday, Monday, and Tuesday are the less busy days. So these are just some of the information you're able to get from your Google My Business profile. You can see the popular time seems to be on Sunday. You can be able to see from the calls section, it was one of the most busiest day. And once you checked here, you are able to see the most popular time was 2 p.m. So those are just some of the information you're able to get from your Google My Business profile. And you can also check what are people saying about your business. So you can see uh, the number of reviews. We have latest reviews, even up to 16 hours ago. You can be able to respond to that if you want to respond to. Or maybe somebody had a good experience, you want to respond to them. Maybe somebody had a bad experience and you also want to respond to that. You're able to also do that as well from your Google My Business profile. So those are just some of the ways you can be able to access data and then from there decide how you want to use that data. I'll share my screen again. So now we've walked through the 3 steps. How do we get data? First, we talked about what are some of the questions we need to ask and what are some of the tools that are available for us to help us answer those questions. We were able to get the information. What do we do with the information? We were also able to discuss that. And so what are your next steps? So maybe you want to learn more about this. You could go to learndigital.withgoogle.com/digital skills/courses. My moderator will put that in the comment section. You can be able to learn more to upskill yourself. And you could follow us on social media. On Facebook, we are at Digital Skills for Africa. On Twitter, we are at Digital Skills AF. On Instagram, we are at Digital Skills AF as well. So you could follow us on social media, leave your feedback, how the section was, maybe areas you would want to be trained on as well. So my moderator will put the feedback form in the comment section and the social media handles. So I'll just check if there's any questions I haven't responded to in the comment section. I see my moderator has put the links up. And you could sign up for participation certificate. The link is up. So I see there's no other question. So thank you so much for joining this session. You could subscribe to this channel to follow us up on any upcoming sessions as well. I have been your trainer, Winnie Anastasia, and my moderator has been Benson Weru. Have a lovely day. Thank you.